I'm actually in my cabin bathroom, just washed my face, and I can't say, I feel like this is the very first time that I'm back home. The ship has stopped, and I'm so happy. Like, I cannot wait to get off. I'm gonna get dressed in a few minutes, eat breakfast, and get the heck off. I have mixed emotions about carnival, and that's what my video is about, the pros and the cons. As I stated previously in the other video, is that if you get a room, spend that extra money for a room with a window. I didn't realize how much that's important. We're human beings and you need air. So you cannot get a room with no window because, let's say if like my son was sick, I got sick not because we're in the same room, but because there's no ventilation. So whatever germs he had in the air, it came right back to me, and I didn't think about that. Secondly, my biggest issue with them was there's absolutely nothing for kids here. The only thing they have is they don't call it camp for a reason. I'm a criminal justice major, and so and I've watched enough court shows to know this. They purposefully don't have the parents sign anything, and they purposefully don't call it camp because if something happens and let's say a parent wants to sue, all they have to say in court is that we never said it was a camp, and the kids can come and go as they please, and the parents knew that. So maybe a person could get a case depending on the judge, but just those little things, there's nothing in writing, and they ain't never said they was a camp. People go around saying, oh yeah girl, carnival's the bomb and it's a camp. No, the camp is from 0 to 11 years old. You have to come pick them up. I'm pretty sure there's something you have to sign, the whole 9 yards. For the 12 to 14 year olds, and then you have 15 to 17, they come and go as they please. There's nothing to sign, none of that. And I feel like they do that because if somebody wants to come out their face and say, this happened to my child, whatever, so and so, their comeback is, we never said it was a camp. This is a place for kids to hang out, mingle, talk, whatever. We never said it was a camp. And it's true. The only reason why I let my son go is because he begged me, and there was literally nothing on the ship for him to do. Had I known that, I would have never booked this cruise. This vacation was for him. We did whenever I take my son on vacation, guys, I've taken him to Universal Studios, Disneyland. I take him to kid-like atmospheres. It's for him. You know, I have fun too, but it's for his liking. I make sure I do the research and that there's, and I really fought myself for not doing the research. I just felt like, you know what, that sounds fun. Everybody says it's fun. And I learned my lesson. Don't listen to people who don't go out. And for my friends or whatever, they don't go out. They're going out, it's vacation. They're housewives, basically. So, like, I have a friend who, both of them I met at work. So one of them just had a baby, and just in general, her overall personality, she doesn't go out. She don't go out so much. She don't know what's going on since COVID. Like, she haven't been out to no movie theaters, whatever. But even before that, she's a homebody by choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. But her going out is vacation. You can't listen to people like that because I'm a theater girl. I'm a real New Yorker. I go to Broadway. I just took my father to see Tina Turner right before this vacation. These people do not act. They just perform and they sing. And I'm cool with that. But why are you having it in the theater? Why, I'm confused. And I'm not going front. The last performance was dope. It was so good because they sang songs that we all know. you know, heartbreaker, won't you rest around me no more, you know, I love rock and roll, you know. They sang all the songs that we know. Even if you don't listen to rock and roll, you've heard the songs on commercials, you've heard the, you know. So I like that they did songs that everybody knew. And I can't front, it was really, really good. Like that last performance was everything. The comics that came, I've heard better, but it was good. The last night, the last comedian, he was just a little extra for me. I don't mind raunchy, but he was extra. Like he admitted more than once that he was a pervert and a pedophile and laughed about it. That was a little weird for me. But other than that, they were great. Percy Cruz too. He was the best out of all of them. He was really, really good. Like they were standing room only for his last act. And then the day before they did the kids, like the family, and they did like two families. And then they did the adults at night. And then last night they just did one comedy show for adults, and that was that. That was the close of that. But they don't have, when I say any, because when I took my son to Universal Studios, naturally they had shows for kids, and I feel like Carnival should do the same. Y'all know most of y'all clients, if not all, most of the people who don't have kids here, they are a kid. Like they brought their mom or something like that, or they retired. So a lot of retirees, they're not gonna bring their grandkids. Like this is their me time, their woo side time. One lady, she came, she's like, I'm retired and this is all I could afford. Me personally, it's not that serious. Like if I can't afford a real vacation and I'm retired, I'll just go upstate. For me, I did it, like I said, for my son. If I knew it was going to be like this, I would have took him to Ride Playland and stayed in a hotel and called it a day. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't know the difference. What I don't like about the culture of Carnival is everybody want to be friends here. To each your own, but if you're on vacation with family or friends, you should stay with your family or friends. I don't understand the making friends thing. And by day 2, my son was like, my friends. You don't know these people. These people, at the end of the day, and then that's another thing I wanted to warn y'all about. If y'all come on Carnival with no kids, y'all will be so annoyed, because I had my son and I was annoyed. I'm like, why is there so many grown kids? Why is there so many 10, 11, 12-year-olds just walking around the ship with no parental guidance? That's weird to me. Like, when you on vacation, you should be with your parent, regardless of age. If that's who you came with, that's who you're supposed to stay with. And that's what I was trying to teach my son. Like, he wanted to be around, kids he didn't know. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, understandable, the activities is not really kid friendly, but I picked out some good stuff. Music, we went to the dance lessons and stuff. He loves to dance. He wanted to do karaoke. Last minute he didn't want to do it. So they have stuff that's kid enjoyable. It's not necessarily for them, but they could do it. The theater, he was rung bunches and he was just extra loud. Like, my son was doing things, and my son is 13, so he has a lot of things in his personality that I could tell is not going to change. Like, that's who he is. He don't want to do something, he will make you miserable. Like, he was doing that before we got here, so I can't even get mad. And I asked him, I said, do you want to do this cruise? He's like, yeah. He literally waited to the last minute to pack. I had to force him to pack. And then when we get on a cruise, it's like he act like he don't know me. It's like, and then a boy said something rude. I didn't hear what he said, but the girl is like, yo, that's Antonio, mom standing right there. Like, what's wrong with you? So he doesn't know how to take up for me. And I think that's a personality thing. It's nothing personal with me, but you know. And then he was just saying things to embarrass me, and I'm like, huh? Like, I was so hurt about the whole situation. I cried last night. I was like, it gotta be something about me. Because why is it like my son is acting like this? I'm always taking him on. I'm like, maybe that's the problem. I'm always taking him out. I'm always taking him out on vacation. The only time I didn't take him on vacation was last year. But I'm always taking him away. I'm always. And it's like, I just feel like it was a smack in my face. And we had a discussion, but I could tell it went through one ear and out the other. And now I see why people don't take their kids, teen kids, nowhere. Like, you know, and if they do, they don't want nothing to do with them. Like one of the hosts of the comedy show, she was like, "Why y'all don't like y'all kids? Like, why the crew members gotta watch them?" You know, but it's true because they were on their own. You know, it's crazy. They were on their own, just walking around aimlessly with nothing to do. You know, but they swear to you it's the best 8 days of their life. You know, but I wanted to get to, cause so there was 3 places that we went on this cruise. It was Dominican Republic. It was Grand Turk and Caicos. No one's heard of it, don't worry. And Half Moon Cay, Bahamas. Now, no one's heard of Half Moon Cay, Bahamas. And I kind of figured it would have been a small island, but god damn, this thing was small. I'm talking about take you 1 hour to do everything, less than an hour. The beach, the 2 souvenir shops, the people playing the drums, and that was it. Like, that was it. And the beach was so damn crowded, I didn't even go, whatever. And my son got his feet wet for a few seconds, and we went right back on the ship. We had to get on these little, I call them baby boats, and it was tipping, and the seat was hard. It was horrible. It was like, why y'all doing this to people? Then the bitch on the intercom, she had a nerve to say this is beyond our control. How is it beyond your control when y'all own this island? Literally, when we got off, we had to use our hotel key to make any purchases. You had to use your hotel key. And then the other souvenir shop used cash, but you know, to be at the bar or whatnot, you know, my son had a Shirley Temple. He had so many of those. He was so, even though his behavior sucked, I still got him whatever he wanted, you know, Shirley Temples, whatever. He wanted a toy. I'm like, you so grown, you don't need toys no more. Got him shirts because he didn't pack enough shirts. Whatever. And then I got me a strawberry daiquiri. That was really good, but I drank it too fast and too much at one time. But yeah, so Half Moon Cay was so bootleg, and it was a bunch of people who felt the same way as me. Like, yo, this is crappy. And then the nightclub vibe, they let 18-year-olds in there. I don't understand how it's a big cruise ship and 5,000 people and y'all only have one club. It's not making sense. And then I felt like I was in Brooklyn again. No shade to Brooklyn because I'm from Brooklyn. But when I'm on vacation, I don't want to feel like I'm in Brooklyn. I don't. So I went there for 2 nights and I didn't go back. And sure enough, I heard that it got ratchet. Then the old lady that we played bingo at one point. So the lady that we were sitting next to that was showing us like how to play, because me and my son, we've never played. She was like, how weeks ago they had a big brawl. They had a fight. And people got arrested once they got to port. I'm like, I'm not surprised. Like, the crowd that it attracts. And then my son, because he just was getting on my nerves, so I just, you know, he's like, oh, I want to go to, I love the club. They call it Circle C. That's the name. Club 02 is 15 to 17. 12 to 14 is Bing. For 12 to 14, I walk in there, and it's like 50 kids to one adult. I'm like, where's your assistants? She's like, her assistants come at night. She's like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm like, I ain't asked you for your resume. I'm just asking a simple question as to why you don't have assistants. Like, why you don't feel like you need help watching it. I don't care if you've been a teacher or whatever you've been doing for 50 years. And when she said that, I said, well, you should know better. You should know that you shouldn't be watching all these kids by yourself, because kids lie. I'm gonna put it out there. One of them say that you touched them. What are you gonna stand on? What are you gonna stand on? You know, these kids lie. They do. How do I know? My son lies. He lies a lot about a lot of stuff. I work with kids. I'm a paraprofessional. Kids lie. I would never want to be in a room by myself with kids, unless if I'm a certified licensed teacher and I'm union. You know, don't leave me alone with these kids. You know, so, and then also they can come and go as they please. I forgot that I had a 6 p.m. appointment, and so I go to look for my son to let him know he's not in there. She's like, oh, he hasn't been here, and he rolls with a group. And sure enough, I found him with a group of kids in the library, not doing anything. So it's not that he was so excited about the activities that they had. He just wanted to be a part of the crew. He see everybody else being grown walking around, and he wanted to join. He's so much of a follower, and I'm so afraid of that. Like, you know, I could have a talk show of just being a parent, that alone, and talk about so many things, but my son is a follower, and somebody say something, he just go with it, and it's just, I don't know where that comes from. It might be hereditary from my father's side, because he said his brothers were like that. They just were so desperate for friends. I'm not like that. I'm outgoing, but I'm not gonna kiss butt for friends. Like, no. Like, he's like, oh, look at the lady, da da da. Let's go up to her and say hi. I'm not going up to nobody to say hi. If you're in my vicinity, I'll say hi, but I'm not going out my way to say hi. No. And then I don't like when I go up to people and say hi and they don't come up to me. Why is it I always gotta come up to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand social cues, and my son doesn't understand that, and that's what I'm worried about. Then when we first got on the boat, you know, we were struggling with the suitcase, and instead of the guy offering to help, he's like, oh, that suitcase is too big. Obviously, if you see one suitcase for 2 people, it's gonna be big. It's 8 days. Common sense. And I didn't get upset. I just said, Antonio, that's his opinion. He goes along with this white man is saying and says, yeah, ma, the suitcase is too big. What? Our stuff is in here. Your stuff and my stuff, your sneakers is in here. You know, that cannot fit in no small suitcase. Yes, when you were little, when I took him to 3 years ago, he was little. His clothes was little. So we was able to put his stuff and my stuff in a medium-sized suitcase. We cannot do that no more. He wears a lot of sneakers now and so forth. And his clothes are bigger. His clothes are average size now. They're not small clothes. So obviously we had to use the big suitcase. I'm not going to be carrying 2 suitcases. He's not big enough to like maintain his own suitcase yet. His little suitcase, but he's too big for the little suitcase. You know, he's kind of in the middle. But, you know, he just flows with anything. He just flows with the culture. Like, I literally felt like I was in a Twilight Zone. And the lady that, I never got her name, but she was walking with me to make sure I dropped him off and stuff. And then she tells the other lady that works there, she's like, oh, she's an overprotective mom. How am I being overprotective? Like, how is that like throwing shade at me? Because I actually give a damn about my son. I actually care. You hear too many things about cruises. I'm not about to let him just walk around the cruise. Like, how is that overprotective? So basically, she agrees with the culture, because she even said it. She's like, oh, he want to be with his friends. Miss, he do not know these kids. They not his friends. Like, but she's into the culture. Like, everybody. It's like the Twilight Zone. Like, I'm completely lost. I don't get it. I'm not gonna get it. It's fucking weird. Like, you have people here. Another lady that's another thing. They give you a table for dinner. You don't have to go. That's the good part. You could dine wherever. But they have it where you're at a table with your child or whoever, and that same table it could be a table for 6, and it'll be another family. I don't like that. You should ask me first, do I want to dine with another family? The answer is no. Like, that's weird. I didn't come on vacation to dine with another family. I didn't. Like, I want to have my privacy and talk about what I want to talk about to my child. Or if you with your significant other and y'all married, y'all don't want to talk about your personal business in front of somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just weird to me. And then the lady said how she would book so many vacations for her daughter to the point that her daughter would tell her, "Ma, I gotta cancel for school." Why is your daughter being a parent? Very weird person I met. Then she's like, she admitted it. She does cruises so her daughter could find friends. It's never that serious. Why she can't make friends in school? What is it about your daughter that nobody like? It's probably because she's too grown for herself. She's only 14 years old. That's probably what it is. Or it could just be she's just fucking weird and you're promoting the weirdness instead of correcting it. Like, she said it too. She admitted it. She's like, I don't go out. Because I was criticizing the club. I was like, I like it, but I feel like I'm in Brooklyn again. And she's like, well, I don't go out much. So she admitted it. Like, the Carnival cruise is her going out. So I'm like, wow, that's really sad. Like, no social life. All she do is work and take care of home. That's why when she come on a cruise, and literally with this particular family, with this mother and daughter, the whole time they are not together. The mother's with strangers, the daughter's with strangers, and this is the culture of the cruise. You see a lot of that. Now, some people have sense and they do stick with their families, but for a lot of the time, you're going to see mothers with strangers and the daughter is with strangers all day, and the only meal that they have together is dinner. It's the only time that they're together is dinner. So to each their own. But I feel like Carnival Cruise is bootleg. If you must do a cruise, do the research for other cruise lines. I'm pretty sure they're better. I've heard that every cruise, you're only there for one day. I don't know how true that is, but I feel like that's not right to be in a different place for 3 days. And then for Half Moon Cay, we didn't even get on the island till 2 because they were so disorganized. They were giving us numbers, calling numbers, and then at some point they stopped. I had got my ticket or whatever 11:30. We didn't get off till about 1:30 and didn't get there till about 2:15. It was ridiculous. It wasn't on my part, and even a lady I met, she was like, no, they need to give us a refund to refund us for that day. It's only right. You don't do that to people and then lie talking about something. It's beyond your control. You own the island. Carnival owns Half Moon Cay. It's all around. The cups that they give for you to drink out of says Carnival on it. We had to pay with our room key. That's another thing I wanted to address. Oh, it's just so much. So you cannot use your credit card or debit card. You have to transfer it to this room key. I cannot wait till I get home to my bank, because so many people I know that have been on cruises and they've gone through the people taking their money out their account. And I'm guessing it's people that probably work on a cruise line for all I know. Because they have, naturally anywhere you go, they're going to have your information. But for me I can't use my stuff. I have to transfer it to your stuff. I felt so uncomfortable all 8 days. I really did. I didn't spend no money the last day. I went to the casino and then it said I didn't have any funds, so I don't know if I ran out or I don't know. I know I have money in the savings, but my check-in was kind of low, and I didn't plan on spending no money because they said it was inclusive. That's another thing about inclusive. What it don't include is variety of juices. So for breakfast, you'll get orange juice and apple juice, but you gotta get it when they first put it in, and it's not natural juice. It's like it comes in a carton and it says Varsity on it, whatever that company is, or Varsitel, whatever starts with a V, and they pour it in. So it's not Tropicana, it's not any of that. It's unnatural juice that they add a mix. And if you get it too late, it's gonna be water. It's gonna taste like water. And then lemonade and iced tea is for lunch. The iced tea is nobody was drinking that iced tea. And that's all they have. So if you want Pepsi, if you want Coca-Cola, if you want apple juice or orange juice in the afternoon, any normal drink, you have to buy it yourself. That is not included, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the food is very bland. For a Caribbean cruise, I expected Caribbean food. I had to get off the boat to get food for those 2 days. The third day, they ain't have no food. The food that they served was from the boat. Please. So if you're not into bland food, you're not gonna like the cruise, because it's like, I don't cook bland. I don't. Like, we put seasoning in our food, and the way they hook up the food is very, very bland. I'm not gonna say white, because white people put seasoning in their food. It's just they're catering, I guess, to older people. That's why they make it bland, I'm assuming. But to be honest, their breakfast is the best, and their dessert is the best. It really is, hands down. They have some really, really good desserts. That's included. But if you want seafood, if you want steak, that is not included. You have to pay separate for that. Also, the timing. I never got a chance to have lunch because they always cut it off so early. Breakfast, we had to wake up early every morning for breakfast. They cut it off at 11:30. The last 2 days we were lucky. They cut it off 11:45 and 12. So we were kind of lucky. But other than that, folks, it's very false advertisement. Don't listen to people when they say, they have camp for 12-year-olds. No, they don't. The 12-year-olds, I don't care how perfect you think your child is. If they are a follower like my son, they are not going to be in there when your back is turned. They're not. They're going to flow with the other kids, and they're going to walk around the ship when you're not looking. My son came back to the room every time I said, because he know I don't play that. But the other times, I made him skip a day. There were 8 days. It was a day that I didn't let him go because I just felt something, and I was right. I wasn't even looking for him. I just forgot to tell him where to meet me at. And when I looked for him, he wasn't in the room. He was in the library with the kids, doing nothing. Like, he's like, ooh, it's so popping. And I peeped in. I said, y'all not doing nothing but playing cards, talking, and watching a movie. What's so great about it? Like, why you want to be there so much? It's not that he wanted to be there. He wanted to be around these kids that had grown. Then I gave him another chance. I said, listen, you need to stay here. And I checked up on him that last time, and he was there. And when he came in at 11 o'clock, because I gave him a curfew for 11, I came from my comedy show. He came from there. And he's like, Mom, I'm so happy that you told me to stay inside the room because they had a fight outside. I said, exactly. That was bound to happen. Kids acting grown, either a grown person going to handle them or another kid. But that's bound, this is why eventually Carnival might shut down, because it's just so much. It's just so much. And the highlight was the last show and the comedy show. So if you just want to get away and not pay much money, do it. If you actually want a decent vacation, don't do it. And those are my thoughts.